Hello everyone and welcome to a new video from Your Overwatch. I'm Eddie the Chump and today we'll be talking about ultimate timings, specifically Nano Boost timings. In the post-triple tank era, getting value out of Nano Boost is more difficult than it once was. Nano boosted targets don't get additional speed anymore either, like they did in the Nano Reaper Beyblade heyday. For this video we'll be breaking down several examples of FREEDO's Ana, and we'll be analysing why the timings of his Nano Boost actually gave his team an edge and got value, as opposed to a far too frequent occurrence in matchmaking, completely wasting it. Now we'll also be covering the difference between a clutch nano and a panic nano. One of the threads I'll be pointing out in FREEDO's play is that he never just fires off nano in blind hope of someone getting value from it. Each use of it is based on making the best decision he can with the information available. This is going to sound obvious, but he often uses his ult to fulfill a part of what he can identify as the win condition. He uses it for a very specific purpose at a specific time. If you develop your reading of the game, you're much less likely to waste what can be a huge swing factor in any team fight. With that said, let's get into the clips, comboing with Genji. So in this first clip, we can see FREEDO take up position on the top right ledge. He knows Genji has his ultimate. While they're taking positioning, FREEDO's Rein dies, and his Lucio drops the beat to help his Pharah, who is also ulting, committing his team fully to the fight. Now Pharah actually trades back a kill to the enemy soldier, but is slept in midair. Now at this point, the opposition Lucio uses his ultimate, but it fades quickly. At this moment, FREEDO's Genji swift strikes high into the air and activates his sword. This is the moment FREEDO chooses to use his Nano. The Genji kills the Lucio and does damage to all the tanks, which FREEDO and the Roadhog help clear up. Now let's actually think about what factors made this timing a good decision. First of all, let's look at what the enemy team are actually doing. They use Nano early to kill FREEDO's Rein, but Pharah trades back, so they're even at that point. Both Lucios have used their ult by the time FREEDO uses his Nano. His Genji initiating the contact high in the air makes it difficult for the enemy team to sleep or crowd control its value, and FREEDO's own good positioning makes his follow-up support easier, as he can get the ult off in the first place and then drop to support, which is what he does. By keeping track of the kill feed and what ultimates have and haven't been used, he can choose a good time to get the best value possible. If he had decided to nano the ulting Pharah instead, it would have been wasted as she got slept almost immediately. Overwatch is a game of very fine margins, and I'll show you just how fine in this next clip. Nanoing Rein. Believe it or not, this clip comes from the same fight as the last one, just much later. The fight stretches out because of the nature of 2CP spawn mechanics, and FREEDO uses his ultimate here on Rein to help sustain what could end up being a failed push if not managed correctly. Now why is this a good decision, you ask? Well, once again, FREEDO's team are well up in terms of eliminations. What the enemy team are doing is attempting to play stall with HP heroes to let their teammates get back from a short respawn. They're trying to trickle, but trickle effectively. Now if FREEDO's team starts to lose the frag advantage and begin trading more evenly, that's bad news. So nanoing a Rein here, on the point, where he doesn't need speed to be effective as the enemies are all in close proximity to him, he can get huge value. Not only in the damage department, but it means that Rein's ability to sustain here is increased. They can keep ahead in the frag battle. Now the enemy team do manage to crowd control Rein, but not before FREEDO's Lucio can drop the beat again, adding to that sustain battle. An enemy D.Va ult and a nanoed enemy Winston make the battle a bit frantic, but FREEDO's team do stay ahead and the trickle becomes more and more desperate as they eventually take the point with some god sleeps from FREEDO thrown in for good measure. Oasis hold, nanoing McCree. So moving on to this next clip, FREEDO's team are defending a King of the Hill objective on Oasis. I'm actually in this game as Soldier and so is Liam as McCree. Now a bit of context, this is actually a comeback game. We were 2-0 down thanks to the enemy team's amazing Pharah. Keep that detail in mind for a later clip. For this one, FREEDO nanos Liam as he uses High Noon from high ground as the enemy team attempts a retake. Now this is a good decision because Nano makes the targeting of McCree's High Noon much faster and makes him less of a sitting duck himself. Because of that, the enemy team loses their Lucio straight away. Being a man down at the start of a retake is a terrible position to be in. Add into the fact that Liam performed a miracle and survived using High Noon because he was nanoed. As the fight breaks, he also kills the enemy Roadhog with a crispy headshot. There are many positives to FREEDO's decision here. We are holding the point, actively gaining score the whole time. Supporting High Noon to get an early pick is great, and getting a second on follow-up ends the fight before it's even begun. The enemy are good, so they know it's over and back off to regroup. A fight was won with just 2 ultimates, and FREEDO has plenty of time to build his again. Oasis take McCree. Now this next clip is from the same game, but in the reverse situation. It's overtime, and we're about to lose if we don't retake here. As the fight breaks, FREEDO notices Liam is in a duel with the enemy team's Pharah. Remember I said she was amazing? The win condition of this entire fight hinges on eliminating her early and keeping our main DPS alive. So FREEDO makes the decision to clutch Nano Liam's McCree in his duel with Pharah. The boosted damage Liam receives instantly pays off and he eliminates the Pharah. He also then goes on to kill the enemy Roadhog in combination with FREEDO. If that doesn't happen and Liam dies there, the fight is likely lost and we lose the game. This is a clutch Nano. It wasn't a panic decision, it was done for a specific purpose and it paid off, big time. Oasis hold, Tracer. In this next clip, FREEDO makes the decision to Nano Liam's Tracer. Again, I want you to notice a few factors. We are holding again, gaining points the whole time the enemy team doesn't fully wipe us and retake. Liam gets involved in a fight with the enemy Ryan and Anna on their side of the map. That's really important. The enemy are having to fight just to make it to the point. FREEDO's team is seizing the initiative. Now the actual play is much the same as the McCree one. FREEDO is electing to keep his DPS alive in a duel. In this context it's quite messy, but what ends up happening is that FREEDO nanos Liam and the enemy Ryan and Anna die. Not only that, the enemy Ryan does panic his ult before he dies, which, remembering they don't have the point, is a massive bonus. Now what happens next is some miracle positioning from FREEDO and Bokan to keep each other alive as Liam is off in the backline doing nano damage. With their main shielding and healer dead, the enemy push is doomed and gives FREEDO's team a chance to regroup at full strength having held. This actually leads into the second nano example from this single clip. This happens on the enemy team's second attempted retake. Here the enemy team initiates by nanoing their Tracer. FREEDO nanos his Roadhog ultimate in response as I drop the beat as Lucio. Now, take note of where the Roadhog is. He's behind his Rhine shield, making any interruption of his whole hog virtually impossible. If the Roadhog was off on a mad flank, this attempted crowd control play could be scuppered by a multitude of things, not least a sleep from the enemy Ana. But because he's safe behind Rhine's shield, FREEDO's decision was sound. The whole hog kills both enemy healers before they even set foot on the point. That is not a good position to fight from, and as a result, our team holds to win. Once again, it wasn't panic. It was a decision based off the data he had in front of him and designed for a specific purpose. By looking at the examples I've shown and broken down, you should have been able to grasp the root of what a good nano boost timing can look like. It is deliberate and it's based off proper reading of the flow of a game. This is the very opposite of complacently using it in a fire and forget manner, or using it in panicked desperation when already way down in a fight. Nano can still be amazing even after all the changes the game has gone through, so don't waste it. Use it to get as much value as you can. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a rating. If you want us to talk about anything specific, please don't hesitate to leave a comment below. If you want to see us tilt live for your enjoyment, come over to our Twitch channel, which is linked in the description below. Also, please follow the Your Overwatch Twitter. It's where you can find updates about new videos and streams. I've been Eddie the Chump, and until next time.